Ayram was a high-maintenance bride who knew exactly what she wanted and was not afraid to ask for it. She wanted to look glam. She wanted to look nothing like herself. She wanted her eyes to be lifted and create an illusion of a bigger eye. She's got very beautiful hooded eyes, but she wanted us to create an eye look that will make it look more open and bigger. She is by far the longest consultation I've had with any bride, from online through to in-person. I remember when she walked through the door for her in-person consultation, the first thing she said after hello was, "Have you seen my eyes?" So the looks I've created for Ayram for a white wedding and traditional wedding was intentional. Everything was discussed. Everything was calculated, from her skin, her brows, her lashes, her lips. The entire look, we went through it step by step prior to her wedding day to understand everything that we needed to do. She has sensitive and teary eyes, so my intuition initially was to do eye first, but I trusted my professional skills and I did the skin first. She wanted to have a very chiseled glam face. So in as much as I wanted her makeup to look good in person, I still had to create the chiseled face and make it look glam at the same time, keeping an illusion of a natural makeup finish. So I went in with quite an amount of blush whilst creating that effect on her face, because I wanted to use reverse contour technique to create the chiseled face looking effect for Ayram. So I added on blush, I added hair contour, I bronzed her face, I did same for the nose, and then it was time to add powder onto her face. She wanted to look glam, so I had to go in with a lot of the products that I needed to look to give her that full coverage look at the same time, making it look good in person. So I did that for her base. It came out nice, and I went back in to touch it up a little bit more, and then it was time to add on some more blush. Like you can see, her face is looking very snatched, but then I hadn't done the reverse contour technique yet. I was just building up to it, and you can see how beautiful she looks even at this point. I sprayed it down, and it was time to bake her under eyes. So I baked her under eyes, and I proceeded to get into her eyes. So like I said before, Ayram is hyper focused on her eyes and how much she wanted her eyes to look bigger in photos and in videos. So I normally would start eyeshadow from the crease, but Ayram has hooded eyes, so I asked her to work with me so that we will create the eyeshadow look that if she opens her eyes and closes them, people can see her eyeshadow. So she was helping me opening her eyes and closing whilst I was creating the elongated eye effect. The inspiration she showed me was a dark purple smoky winged out eyeshadow look. So we were creating that. I used very small detail brushes because her eyes are on the smaller side, so I had to use very tiny brushes to create the details that I needed to create. I winged it out. Then for the top of her eyes, which the hood was, I went in with little amount of product because I didn't want to re-emphasize that area. I focused her eyeshadow on the outer V corner, her lower lash line, and a little bit on the small crease you see at the top of her lash line. So I did that, and then I let her open her eyes so I would see how she would look, and I was okay. And I went in with this champagne platinum shade on the lid, let her open her eyes. So you can see that her right eye looks quite open than the left one. And I went back in to add on the product on the left as well. And then for her lash selection, I used a cat eye to create that lifted effect. I did the reverse contour to chisel her face like she requested and onto the lips. So for her lips, she wanted a nude lip. So per usual, I went in with a brown liner. I blended it. She was looking so beautiful at this point. Because we had discussed her look prior, I asked her to not look in the mirror. Let her trust me so that I can put in all the discussions we've had over the weeks into creating the look she wanted. So she trusted me and she was calm, even quite anxious, but she was calm. And then I created the look. I finished off the lip. She hadn't seen her face. I blended the lip out. She was very calm, seated and nicely. I lowered the lid so I could see her eyeshadow looking very beautiful. Her lip was coming together. I used the brush to dust off the excess powder from the reverse contour technique and then add a little bit more blush onto her face to bring that glam onto her face. She was looking beautiful. I went in to add a clear gloss onto her nude lip, blended it, and then her work was coming to a close. I used a setting spray. So as I used the setting spray and I was dabbing it onto her face, it was as though it's informed the photographers to come in. They started coming in even though we were not quite done. So I told them to just wave and then let me know when they are ready to start working on Ayram's photo. And then the hairstylist also came in to do finishing touches to the hair. Ayram was looking so beautiful. And then that was it. This was Ayram before I did her makeup. And then this was her after. She was looking beautiful. The eyes are lifted. They look more open. It has the lifted smoky eye effect. Her brows are lifted, her face is looking chiseled. Everything came as we had discussed in her consultation. When I gave her the mirror, she was very happy. From the time she saw her makeup, her mood completely changed. She was so excited. She was ready to take all of her videos, all of her content and everything. I love how excited she was. And the most exciting part about EYRAM's look was the fact that I waited till I got her review from the wedding before I started prepping her content to post, because I wanted to know how her makeup lasted. Because that was one thing that concerned her, if her makeup was going to last. And she told me she was surprised that her makeup lasted. She had sweat on her face. Her makeup did not move. Everything was beautiful. Her gown was nice. These were the details in her engagement look. And I was very excited about how everything came after all the discussions we had. It paid off. I was calm with her. I was patient with her to understand everything she wanted. We went outside to the balcony to take some videos of her. And this was her full gown. It looked beautiful. Her body was so snatched. She was very excited. Thank you, EYRAM, for having me and trusting me to create your beautiful dream traditional wedding bridal makeup look. Her gown was so beautiful. Kudos to the designer. So once I was done taking these videos of her from the balcony, it was time for her to go out to her ceremony. She walked out elegantly to her wedding. So this was the review from EYRAM. She loved her makeup. It lasted and everything turned out great. See you guys in my white wedding video. Bye.